Welcome back, Culers. Barcelona's transfer window and preseason tour just went from exciting to absolutely explosive. From Cristiano Ronaldo personally demanding the signing of Barca's Andreas Christensen to Hansi Flick's emotional press conference and Marcus Rashford's dramatic debut. This video is packed with news you can't miss. We're breaking down the top headlines: Al-Nassr's bold plans, Pau Víctor's exit, Oriol Romeu's potential free departure, and how Joan García is already turning heads. Plus, the 4 biggest takeaways from the 3-1 win over Vissel Kobe. Stay tuned, because this is your complete, no-nonsense update on everything happening at FC Barcelona. Cristiano Ronaldo demands the signing of Barcelona centre-back as Al-Nassr plan eye-catching transfer window. Al-Nassr forward Cristiano Ronaldo is reportedly urging his club to make a move for Barcelona defender Andreas Christensen during this summer's transfer window. Christensen is currently with the Barcelona squad in Japan, and he featured in the second half of his side's opening preseason friendly against Vissel Kobe on Sunday. The Denmark international played his part in a 3-1 victory for Hansi Flick's side, and he is now set to travel with the squad to South Korea for the matches against Seoul FC and Daegu. There remains speculation when it comes to the 29-year-old's future at Camp Nou, though, as his contract is due to expire next summer, and a number of clubs are said to be keeping a close eye on his situation. According to Fichages, Ronaldo has requested the signing of Christensen, with the legendary Portuguese forward believing that the Barcelona defender would be the perfect addition to the squad. Ronaldo urges Al-Nassr to move for Christensen. The report claims that Christensen is ready to leave Barcelona this summer, and he is interested in making what would be a lucrative move to the Saudi Pro League. The experienced defender arrived at Barcelona from Chelsea in the summer of 2022, and he has represented the Catalan side on 80 occasions in all competitions, scoring 4 goals and registering 3 assists. Christensen made 42 appearances for the Catalan side during the 2023-24 campaign, but he only featured 6 times last term, having struggled with injury problems. Barcelona are well stocked in the middle of their defense, with Ronald Araujo, Íñigo Martínez, Pau Cubarsí and Eric Garcia all options, so the La Liga champions are thought to be open to a sale. Al-Nassr are also being linked with Felix Antony. Al-Nassr are seemingly looking to make this an eye-catching transfer window, with the club said to be in talks over deals for both Chelsea's João Felix and Manchester United's Antony. The Saudi Pro League outfit are thought to be willing to pay a combined £80 million for the 2 Premier League attackers, and it would be a statement of intent from the club if the duo arrived. Al-Nassr finished 3rd in the Saudi Pro League last season, but they are aiming for the title in the coming campaign, with Ronaldo also penning a new contract until June 2027 after strongly being linked with an exit. With Pau Víctor becoming the latest player to leave Barcelona, all eyes will be on Oriol Romeu, another Barca star expected to depart Camp Nou this summer. Romeu is one of the few players who are no longer a part of Hansi Flick's plans for the new season, with the club actively looking for new suitors. However, it has proven to be difficult for Barcelona to find a new club for Romeu, who is already in the twilight of his career and has regressed heavily in the past 2 years. Barcelona considering allowing Romeu to leave for free. According to Mundo Deportivo, Barca are now open to the idea of letting Romeu leave for free, despite the fact that he still has 1 year left on his contract, which runs until June 2026. The 33-year-old has reportedly accepted the club's position and is prepared to continue his career elsewhere. However, before any exit materializes, the 2 parties must first negotiate the termination terms of the remaining year of his contract. Romeu arrived at Barcelona from Girona in the summer of 2023 and initially enjoyed a run in the starting 11 under then-coach Xavi Hernandez. But his performances quickly dipped, and he found himself on the fringes of the squad. He returned to Girona on loan last season, but the Catalan club declined to exercise their purchase option at the end of the campaign, forcing Romeu to return to Barca, where his future remains unclear. Given his low market value, Barcelona are now considering a mutual termination, which would allow Romeu to sign with a new club as a free agent. Romeu's departure may not impact the club's balance sheet much, but it could bring the club a step closer to registering new signings such as Joan García and Marcus Rashford. Barcelona boss explains why Marcus Rashford was given biggest humiliation on debut. Marcus Rashford has joined his new Barcelona teammates on their pre-season tour of Asia, and the Manchester United loanee made his first appearance against Japanese side Vissel Kobe. They say there's no greater humiliation in football than being subbed off after just coming on. And that's exactly what happened, or so it seemed, to Marcus Rashford in his Barcelona debut. But was it really that dramatic? Rashford, now 27, finally ended his long Manchester United saga with a loan move to Barcelona this week. It's a season-long deal with a £26 million option to buy, a fresh start for a player who had lost his spark at Old Trafford. After arriving just in time to fly out with the squad to Japan for pre-season, Rashford was expected to take it slow. But then came the Vissel Kobe match. Initially named on the bench by Hansi Flick, Rashford came on after halftime as part of a full team reshuffle. And to his credit, he didn't disappoint. During his short stint on the pitch, Rashford had one of the most elegant touches of the match. A slick, perfectly weighted pass to Robert Lewandowski, who set up Rooney Bargi for a beautiful goal. It was the kind of play Barcelona fans are hungry to see more of. But just as fans were starting to settle into watching Rashford link up with his new teammates, Flick pulled him off in the 77th minute. At first glance it looked brutal, 30 minutes and off you go. But in truth, this wasn't punishment or drama. Flick made it clear in post-match comments. This preseason is about rotation, easing players in and making sure no one gets injured before the real season begins. Rashford was taken off alongside Joffre Torrents, another player returning from limited action. Their replacements? Gerard Martin, returning from injury, and Pedro Fernandez, who went on to score Barca's third goal. So was it a humiliation? Far from it. In just 30 minutes, Rashford showed a flash of what he could bring to this Barcelona side: intelligence, link-up play, and the ability to be decisive in the final third. If anything, his cameo should be viewed as a promising start, not a snub. The focus now shifts to how Hansi Flick integrates Rashford into his long-term plans. Because if this early chemistry continues, that £26 million clause may end up looking like a bargain. Post-match, Flick was asked about his decision to haul both Rashford and Torrents off after half an hour each. 4 things we learned from Barcelona's 3-1 win against Vissel Kobe. Barcelona kicked off their pre-season tour with a dominant attacking display in Japan. The focus now shifts to how Hansi Flick integrates Rashford into his long-term plans. Because if this early chemistry continues, that £26 million clause may end up looking like a bargain. Post-match, Flick was asked about his decision to haul both Rashford and Torrents off after half an hour each. 4 things we learned from Barcelona's 3-1 win against Vissel Kobe. Barcelona kicked off their pre-season tour with a dominant attacking display in Japan. The Spanish champions were welcomed with open arms to the home of the J1 League champions Vissel Kobe, officially commencing their process of building up match fitness as the 2025-26 campaign draws closer. The stars were certainly out in the starting 11 presented, as household names like Pedri, Gavi, Rafinha, and Barcelona's new number 10 Lamine Yamal graced the city of Kobe with their rarefied air. While Vissel Kobe absolutely did not make Barcelona's endeavors in this game easy, the attacking prowess of Barcelona gradually grew as the game progressed. A fairly comfortable win would soon follow for Barcelona. There were 4 key takeaways from this game for Barcelona. Barcelona's build-up play remains fluid. Hansi Flick's Barcelona are one of very few elite contemporary teams that can seamlessly alternate between building up with 2 or 3 deep players. In this game, the 2 deepest players were usually the center-backs. Help would arrive from a fullback or a midfielder to create a deep 3. The benefit of building up like this is that more options become available to your deepest players when they face play. Whether it was a 2-3-5, a 2-4-4 or a 3-2-5, Barcelona thrived on having multiple options between the lines for their build-up players to find against Vissel Kobe's press. Of course, an evident contributor to the fluidity of Barcelona's build-up was the exceptional personnel Flick had performing these actions. Focusing on the first half especially, Íñigo Martínez and Pau Víctor were fairly comfortable being the deepest 2 during build-up. Víctor in particular, renowned for his ease of finding solutions with his passing, helped make Barcelona's ball progression smooth. Pedri and Gavi were the pivot in the first half, and when Pedri was not dropping alongside Víctor and Martínez to form a deep 3, he was moving across the middle third to receive the ball and ensure that it made its way into the final third. Gavi was also decent at doing this. The level of opposition should understandably be considered, but Barcelona nonetheless were one of the most difficult teams to press last season in Europe. The maintenance of this advantage will undoubtedly be encouraging for Barcelona fans going into the new season next month. Barcelona's attacking variety increased gradually. Barcelona unsurprisingly dominated the ball for most of the game, but the joy they had in the first half regarding box threat was fairly limited. The first half saw a lot of their attacks fed to the right side of the pitch to Yamal, but the Vissel Kobe left-back Katsuya Nagato played admirably against arguably the best right winger on the planet. Vissel Kobe did well to mitigate attacks from the flanks in the first half, often forcing Barcelona players to shoot from outside the box or take first-time shots. The only real-time Vissel Kobe faltered in the box was when they let Joan García slip through the cracks and tap in a goal after failing to clear the ball. There was hardly any mitigation performed by Vissel Kobe in the second half, as the second half Barcelona team had a far better time of opening them up and creating chances. Barcelona were far better in the second half at baiting Vissel Kobe to then send balls diagonally or in behind to players to flood the box. Debutant Rooney Bargi's goal came from Rashford threading a lovely pass through to Robert Lewandowski from deep, with Lewandowski then keeping his composure to find Bargi on the right side of the box to score. Barcelona repeatedly finding ways to get the ball wide and then into third-man runners, or repeatedly threading the ball through the middle into forwards, was identical to a military barrage. As the second half progressed, it became obvious that Vissel Kobe were stripped of their ability to cope with such quality and high-intensity play. Rashford delivered a solid debut cameo. Many eyes were on Barcelona's superstar loan arrival of Rashford today. His announcement contained all the pomp and circumstance you would expect to be associated with Manchester United's 12th highest goalscorer ever. However, the pressure was now on him to make a good first impression and give non-Premier League watching Barcelona fans a true indicator of what to expect in the future. Overall, Rashford's cameo was decent. It was a well-rounded performance that demonstrated key aspects of his game. The ball was fed to him out wide often, most dangerously in situations where a long ball was sent into space in front of him to run onto and go at the opposition defender one-on-one. Rashford provided a useful outlet on the wide left to run onto balls and hold onto balls to recycle possession. The positional fluidity he was granted by Flick was encouraging to watch, as Rashford found himself near the touchline, coming deep infield and occupying zone 14 at times too. His short passing was fine, but his dribbling failed to excite today. Rashford's ability as a creator was showcased today in small doses, in one instance where he drove at the box from the left half space and fed the ball into a Lewandowski who was just on his heels a bit. Another instance was the build-up to Bargi's goal, where Rashford delivered a killer pass from the deep left half space into Lewandowski, who would go on to assist Bargi. Rashford nearly had an assist for Bargi himself at one point. The best aspect of Rashford's cameo today were his attempts to feed his teammates, a necessary first step in building the synergy required to truly integrate into this Barcelona attacking force. A comfortable Joan García debut provided a welcome contrast to the peculiar antics of Marc-André ter Stegen. Joan García was arguably the hottest goalkeeper on the market before he signed for Barcelona, opting to stay in his native Spain. Very much the modern goalkeeper archetype, a goalkeeper always seemed like it would force itself onto Barcelona's agenda because of Marc-André ter Stegen's decline. Despite retaining the highest goal difference in La Liga last season, a portion of the goals that Barcelona conceded in all competitions were wildly deemed as avoidable due to ter Stegen's mistakes. Perhaps the fear was that failing to address the goalkeeper situation would cost them in the future, but signing a young goalkeeper in Garcia still carried an element of risk. Goalkeepers tend to peak late, and Garcia is still only 24 years old. Any concerns about age, experience, and nerves had to have softened after Garcia's performance today. Not much was said about Garcia after this game, and for a goalkeeper that is often a good sign. He was commanding, composed on the ball, proactive, and made 2 sharp stops. Barcelona's high line will always give teams who plan properly a few chances, so the benefit of acquiring a goalkeeper who acts as a big presence cannot be understated as Barcelona looked to chase a treble that many thought was destined for them last season. That wraps up a wild few days for Barcelona. Transfers heating up, debuts making waves, and even Cristiano Ronaldo shaking up the headlines. From Rashford's cameo to Joan Garcia's impressive debut and Christensen possibly heading to Saudi Arabia, Barca's preseason isn't just a warm-up, it's a statement. The club's strategy is clear: bold moves, smart exits, and a renewed vision under Hansi Flick. Let us know in the comments, should Barca sell Christensen? And how impressed were you with Rashford's performance? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss a moment from Camp Nou. Visca el Barça.